So you go and do a small number here, you do this number here, you do that number here, this number here, and you do 3 rounds. And it's still the same number. You're going to get better results out of rotating through items than you are at go do 25 V-ups. Do 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 of different things. You're going to do better than the 25 V-ups that are going to be bent leg by the end. So try to think rounds. And then one more idea of thinking of your rotations is thinking of everything as a meal. Your appetizer. Your appetizer is getting you ready, right? So you run for vaulting, you do jumping jacks, you do stuff for cardio for legs. That's your appetizer. Your main course is what we want to get done. We want to get your Chenko timers done today. Then that's our main course. What's your side stations? That's your side dish. And then what's our dessert? Is it an Instagram post? Is it stickers? Is it points? Is it colors? Is it coloring a big picture? We did whiteboard designs for a game, but what's your dessert? What's your fun part? So think of every time you go to coach a meal and rounds and circuits. Rounds and circuits, meal, rounds and circuits. So we get out of the everybody lay down, let's go, splits. Everybody lay down, let's go, V-ups. Everybody lay down, let's go, hands. Like it's too much where everybody's doing the same thing all the time, or line tumbling. It's just too boring. Mix it up and try to change that.
For the Cubs and the Super Cubs, the meal is the best because they like to build the meal. So if you have, because that's how I work with the 3-year-olds, if you have 5 pieces on the floor and you're doing 5 separate things, you're starting with your breakfast, you're getting a snack. What are we having for lunch? What do we have for dessert? What should? And
well, any stories help.
And the kids build their own.
Any stories. So for preschool, the circuits are going to be set up, but you can use any stories, any imagination, any fun. We're princesses today, tomorrow we're superheroes, whatever. Those stories are good. But when you're doing just boring stuff and it's just gymnastics repetition, I mean, hopefully our preschool is so like happy and fun that we don't have to come up with as many, circuit ideas because we already have them out, or whatever. Hopefully. Because what we're hoping also is that someone who's experienced like Noonie, he doesn't teach a Super Cubs class, he does maybe a little bit higher level class. Because Super Cubs is more of a, we can train any mom in the viewing room to be a decent Super Cubs coach. If we have the circuit set up and we have the structure set up. And then the higher level stuff needs to have, an expertise a little bit more of, the proper kick or the proper technique on something. Not to say that preschool is easy to coach, it's not. It definitely is not, it's very difficult. But you can train a mom who's raised kids to have that personality if we have the structure set up for them. So that's what we were hoping to do more of. And if you're doing the Super Cubs, you might think a little bit more down, like not so perfect shot say 5th position. I mean they're good. It's just that's a high level. Unless our Super Cubs are all too low level. I mean I've only seen a few Super Cubs classes, so I might need.
What if you have a group of Super Cubs who just happen to be a collection of very talented,
that's so exciting because you're going to move them to mini jets.
Right.
Or they might skip felines and move to mini jets.
But can you, within the framework of that term, in Super Cubs, give them a little more than the average Super Cub would get?
I mean, you can always make a cartwheel station. Like a perfect handstand in level 10 is difficult. So there's no handstand that's going to be too easy for anybody in the whole program. Unless you're a hand balancing act and they're like, okay, I can hold this for 3 minutes. But there's no handstands. You can't make it too easy. That's one thing about gymnastics. We're never going to make it. Oh, they mastered that. So you guys will get parents who say they're bored, which I hate. That's the most annoying parent thing. They're bored in their class. Well, then let's change it up with these other things. All this creative stuff. No one says Taylor's class ever is boring because she has the most unique setups of anybody in my gym. And so they don't ever think that. So the games and other things make it more exciting, but gymnastics and repetition is just boring. That's just life. So you want to educate the parents on perfecting skills, and handstands is like one of the most difficult things. A perfect round off. If somebody says, well, she has her round off. No such thing.
That's my least favorite thing a kid says. Like, I have a perfect round off. I'm like,
there's no such thing.
Oh, no,
a perfect round off is one of the most difficult skills in the world to perfect. You have drills to work nonstop for a round off. So yes, you could maybe do a roundoff, but you have not perfected a roundoff. We work roundoffs till the end of history for our top level gymnasts. So,
Different kinds of round-offs too. Round-off rebounds up, round-off that goes backwards, round-off you want to rebound forward sometimes.
yeah, and all of those done perfectly is very difficult. So it can't be too easy for them. So if you guys go, well, I had, and we won't talk about this right now, but if you guys get what, I had this parent, this kid said this, they said they're bored and this and this and this, I go, okay, let's attack that because we'll probably see that again and figure out how we should handle it. And then it's systemized, and then the next time it happens, we all know what to do. Because you'll have, like, oh God, what do we do in this case? Happens all the time. I mean, I thought I've seen everything, and then I get another one. I'm like, wow, never saw that. It happens constantly, so.
I have a really quick game that I just remembered that I really wanted to share. Repetition is like the biggest thing, and it's the worst to say, go do 10 of these. Come back, go do 10 of these, and then it's like, they'll never finish it, they'll cheat, they'll slop through it. And sometimes if you just want to get the numbers in, we call like the 10 card game. Each kid gets 10 cards, it doesn't matter what they are. For example, I do this on bars a lot, but it works for every event. First one will be pullovers. So the rule is they have to come see me between each turn. They want to get rid of their cards. Cards are bad. So if they do their pullover with a scarf and they make it, they get rid of a card. They come give me a card. They don't make it, they get a card, and then I time them for 2 minutes. They're trying to get rid of all their cards. So they're not going to be the most ideal pullovers, but with a scarf they have to make it. It's a little bit better. But then they're getting so many done and they don't realize they're doing 10. And then at the end, they didn't finish, they have 3 lemon squeezers, or however many cards they didn't finish, that many of a matching conditioning item. That's another important thing, is matching conditioning or consequences for what they've done. Because like Cassie's example, like falling off beam and then doing 3 push-ups for that, that's not helping why they fell off the beam. It's like literally just a punishment. So as long as it's something that's helping what they did and you can explain why that's helping, that's another really important thing as like for consequences.
Right. One more quick thing about, because the consequences made me think of the kids at this other gym that I know about, and they said, well, when the kid comes in late, they go climb the rope. Number 1, the parent drives them, so it's not their fault. Number 2, they pay you to come here, so you don't punish them for being late. And number 3, that it's not that helpful for them to not be late again. So, but what that reminded me of is maybe when you start class, you do something that is fun. We always start jumping in the pit, or sometimes we start jumping in the trampoline in the pit at the beginning, and that's our fun part. And they don't want to miss at the beginning. Because then the other kids go, oh, we did that, and I missed it. Oh, Mom, can you try to get us here on time? So you want the kid to try to get them there on time, not the punishment because they're not on time. All right. Million ideas, so you guys just keep communicating.